Have you ever stopped to wonder why the light of your success can cast such long shadows in the hearts of others? Why does the joy you radiate stir discomfort in some, even when you've done nothing but tread your God-given path? It is a mystery that has troubled many, yet it is one that holds profound lessons for our journey through life. Jealousy, though often subtle, is an emotion that reveals the insecurities and hidden battles of others, battles they may be too ashamed to admit or too proud to surrender to God. Scripture teaches us that no weapon formed against us shall prosper, but it does not teach us that the weapons will not be forged. As you rise in life, whether through personal victories, spiritual growth, or the quiet fulfillment of your calling, you may notice peculiar signs around you. People who once cheered for you now greet your success with silence, their smiles growing faint, their words laced with veiled discouragement. Why does this happen? Why does your progress, which is meant to glorify the Creator, spark unease in the hearts of some? Perhaps it is because jealousy is less about you and more about them, about the mirror you unknowingly hold up to their unrealized potential. Your light exposes their darkness, your courage magnifies their fear, and your success, no matter how humble, becomes a painful reminder of the opportunities they may have ignored. Yet you must understand this truth: jealousy is not your burden to carry. It is a spiritual battle that rages not between you and them, but between their heart and the divine truth they resist. Have you noticed how jealousy often disguises itself? Rarely will it announce itself plainly, for it thrives in shadows and whispers. It does not shout accusations, but sows seeds of doubt, subtly undermining your confidence and questioning the very blessings you hold dear. What's more, jealousy does not always come from strangers. Sometimes it arises from those closest to us, family, friends, or colleagues, people whose love we believed was steadfast and secure. How then should you respond? Should you grow bitter, turning your heart into a fortress? Or should you retreat, dimming your light to spare the fragile egos of others? Neither bitterness nor retreat is the answer, for both are beneath the dignity of someone called by God. Instead, you must recognize jealousy for what it truly is, a spiritual attack meant to distract and discourage you from your purpose. You see, the enemy knows that if he cannot destroy you, he will seek to deter you. Jealousy is one of his tools, designed to draw your focus away from the blessings you've been given and onto the pettiness of others. But do not let your heart be troubled. Instead, anchor yourself in the unshakable truth that your value does not come from the approval of others, but from the one who formed you with a purpose. Take a moment to reflect on your life. Have you experienced the sting of a friend's envy or the coldness of a family member's indifference? Have you sensed the silent resentment of someone who can no longer celebrate your victories? Perhaps you've noticed that your achievements, instead of inspiring others, seem to have unsettled them. These are not coincidences, they are signs. Signs that you are living in a way that challenges the mediocrity others have come to accept in themselves. But do not be dismayed. Jealousy is often the price of walking in purpose, and it is a small price to pay compared to the rewards of living in alignment with God's plan. Let us also consider the example of our Savior. Christ himself was no stranger to jealousy. His wisdom, his power, his ability to heal and uplift, all these provoked jealousy in the hearts of those who could not understand or accept his divinity. Yet he did not allow their envy to derail his mission. He stayed the course, choosing obedience to God over the approval of men. And so we too must press forward, remembering that our purpose is not to please people but to fulfill the calling placed upon us by the Creator. So, my friend, how can you recognize when jealousy is at work in your life? How can you discern the signs that someone, no matter how well they conceal it, harbors envy toward you? The answer lies in observation, wisdom, and discernment. Jealousy often leaves behind a trail small, telling signs that reveal its presence. Now let us examine these signs, so you may learn to navigate them with grace, wisdom, and unwavering faith. Sign 1. Their praise turns to criticism. When someone harbors jealousy toward you, their praise often begins to shift. It is subtle at first, a kind word followed by a but. They'll compliment you on your success, only to quickly diminish it with a critique designed to cast doubt over your achievements. You're doing well, but don't let it get to your head. I'm happy for you, but are you sure you're ready for this level of responsibility? These statements seem harmless on the surface, but if you listen closely, they carry the weight of an unspoken resentment. Why does this happen? The jealous heart is torn between admiration and bitterness. On one hand, they see the brilliance of what you've accomplished. On the other, they feel an aching reminder of their own perceived shortcomings. This tension manifests in words that attempt to minimize your success. In their mind, if they can find something wrong with what you've done, it will bring your achievements down to a level they feel more comfortable with. But here's the truth. Their criticism has very little to do with you and everything to do with them. Your progress, your growth, and your victory shine a light on the places they've neglected in their own lives. Instead of confronting these areas and making the necessary changes, they project their frustrations onto you. They may not even realize they're doing it. Jealousy is a deceitful force. It blinds a person to the truth, convincing them that their feelings of inadequacy are somehow your fault. Have you ever been in a situation where someone you cared about started to nitpick your choices after you began succeeding? Perhaps it was a friend who was always supportive until your accomplishments outpaced theirs. Suddenly, their once kind words became sharp, their laughter tinged with sarcasm, and their advice laced with doubt. It's a painful experience, especially when it comes from someone you trusted. But do not let their words take root in your heart. The enemy often uses the voices of those closest to us to plant seeds of self-doubt. Recognize this for what it is, a distraction. What can you do when faced with such criticism? First, understand that it is not your job to change their perspective. Jealousy is a battle they must face within themselves. Your role is to remain steadfast, anchored in the truth of who you are and the purpose God has placed on your life. Do not engage in arguments or try to defend your success. Instead, let your actions speak for themselves. When you remain focused on your goals and continue to operate with humility and grace, you leave no room for their words to take power over you. It is also important to guard your heart in these moments. The temptation to internalize their criticism can be strong, especially if it comes from someone whose opinion you value. But remember, your worth is not determined by their approval. God's plan for your life is not subject to the validation or critique of others. When you feel the sting of their words, turn to prayer and ask God to strengthen your resolve. Pray not only for yourself, but also for the person who criticizes you, that they may find healing for the wounds that jealousy has inflicted on their soul. This shift from praise to criticism is one of the most telling signs of jealousy. It often begins subtly, but over time it becomes more apparent. If you find yourself in this situation, do not be discouraged. Recognize it as confirmation that you are walking in your purpose. People rarely criticize those who are standing still. Criticism often comes as a sign that you are moving forward, breaking barriers, and stepping into new levels of success. Be mindful of how you respond. Do not allow their words to harden your heart or make you cynical. Instead, let it refine you. Learn to discern between constructive feedback, which is given out of love, and destructive criticism, which is rooted in envy. This discernment will allow you to grow without being weighed down by negativity. Remember, God sees your efforts and knows your heart. He has equipped you with the strength to rise above the distractions and the wisdom to navigate these challenges. As you move forward, keep your focus on Him and trust that He will guide you through every trial. Jealousy may seek to undermine you, but it cannot succeed against someone who is grounded in faith and purpose. Sign 2. They mimic you but fail to acknowledge it. One of the most peculiar signs of jealousy is mimicry. When someone envies you, they often begin to imitate your actions, choices, or even your style. At first, it might seem flattering a friend or colleague adopting a habit or practice you introduced. But over time, it becomes clear that their imitation is not born out of admiration, but a desire to compete or surpass you. They mimic your ideas, yet they never give you credit. Instead, they present your innovations as their own, hoping to claim the recognition that rightfully belongs to you. Why do people do this? Jealousy operates in strange and contradictory ways. On one hand, the jealous person admires what you've achieved. On the other, they feel threatened by it. Imitation becomes their way of trying to level the playing field. They believe that if they can replicate your success, they can somehow diminish your significance. But what they fail to understand is that true greatness cannot be copied. Your uniqueness lies not just in what you do, but in how you do it, your passion, your creativity, and the divine calling that shapes your path. Consider this. Have you ever noticed someone adopting your mannerisms, using your ideas, or stepping into spaces you've pioneered, all while refusing to acknowledge your influence? It's a frustrating experience, especially when it comes from someone you trusted. But do not let their actions steal your peace. Imitation, even when born of envy, is a silent acknowledgement of your impact. They would not mimic you if they didn't see something worth emulating. However, it's important to set boundaries. While imitation might be inevitable, it does not mean you have to tolerate disrespect or theft of your ideas. If someone crosses a line, address it with grace and clarity. Speak your truth, but do so in a way that reflects your character and values. Remember, how you handle such situations says more about you than it does about them. Imitation rooted in jealousy often backfires. While they may attempt to copy your success, they cannot replicate the journey that led you there. Your trials, sacrifices, and growth are uniquely yours, and it is these experiences that give your work authenticity. No matter how closely they try to follow in your footsteps, they will always be a step behind, chasing a shadow they cannot grasp. As you encounter this behavior, let it serve as a reminder of the influence you hold. Your light is so bright that others feel compelled to reflect it. But do not let their actions distract you from your purpose. Stay focused on your path, trusting that God will handle those who seek to undermine you. Sign 3. They celebrate your failures more than your successes. One of the most painful and revealing signs of jealousy is when someone finds joy in your setbacks. It's subtle at first, a slight smirk when things don't go as planned, a lack of comfort when you're in need of encouragement, or even thinly veiled comments that seem to dismiss your struggles as insignificant. The jealous person will not openly celebrate your failure, but if you look closely, their actions and words betray their satisfaction. Their enthusiasm to see you stumble far outweighs their willingness to cheer you on when you succeed. Why does this happen? The jealous heart craves validation, but it doesn't know how to achieve it in a healthy way. Your failure to them becomes a twisted form of success. It reassures them that you are not as perfect or untouchable as they perceive. They find solace in your struggles because in their mind, it levels the playing field. But the truth is, no one's journey is perfect. We all have moments of failure, and those moments are not meant to be used as ammunition by others, but as opportunities for growth. Have you ever noticed someone who suddenly becomes more talkative or attentive when you're going through a rough patch, only to withdraw when you rise again? This is a hallmark of jealousy. Their attention is not genuine concern, but a way to validate their internal narrative. They may even subtly broadcast your failures to others, exaggerating your shortcomings to make themselves feel superior. It's disheartening, especially when it comes from someone close to you. But here's the important lesson: your failures are not their victory. Your setbacks are merely stepping stones to something greater, and while they may rejoice in your momentary stumble, they cannot stop the upward trajectory of your life. What they fail to realize is that every failure you face is a lesson, a test of resilience that ultimately strengthens you. What they see as an end is merely a beginning, a door closing so a better one can open. So how should you respond to someone who celebrates your failures? First, resist the urge to retaliate. Do not stoop to their level or allow bitterness to take root in your heart. Instead, use your failures as fuel for your growth. When you rise again, and you will rise, your success will speak louder than their words ever could. Remember, God sees all things. He knows the struggles you endure, the pain you carry, and the triumphs you achieve. Trust that he will deal with those who find joy in your hardships. Second, guard your circle carefully. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your life. If someone consistently shows that they cannot celebrate your victories but are quick to highlight your failures, it may be time to distance yourself. Surround yourself with people who genuinely support you, those who lift you up in times of trouble and celebrate with you in moments of success. These are the individuals who truly reflect the love and grace of God. Find strength in the fact that your journey is yours alone. Your failures do not define you, nor do they diminish the calling God has placed on your life. They are temporary detours, not dead ends. Use them as opportunities to grow closer to God, seeking His wisdom and guidance as you navigate the challenges ahead. When you do, you will find that even your failures can become testimonies of His faithfulness. Jealousy may drive some to celebrate your failures, but their joy will be short-lived. For every setback, God has a comeback planned. Trust in His timing. Remain faithful to your purpose, and watch as He turns your trials into triumphs. Sign 4. They downplay your achievements. Jealousy often cloaks itself in subtle dismissiveness. When someone is envious of your success, they will find ways to minimize its significance. They may offer backhanded compliments like, "It's great you got that promotion, but it's not that hard to get one these days," or "You've done well, but let's see how long it lasts." These comments are not born out of objective criticism. They are rooted in their inability to fully celebrate your accomplishments. Why do they do this? A jealous person struggles to accept the idea that someone else's success does not diminish their own worth. Your achievement reminds them of their own perceived failures or unfulfilled potential, and instead of addressing those feelings constructively, they choose to invalidate what you've worked so hard to achieve. By downplaying your success, they hope to make themselves feel better, even if it comes at the cost of your joy. Have you experienced someone who always seems to find the flaw in your accomplishments? Maybe you've shared exciting news only to be met with lukewarm responses, or perhaps someone changed the subject when the conversation shifted to your achievements. This behavior can be disheartening, especially when it comes from someone you value. But it's important to remember that their reaction has little to do with you and everything to do with their inner struggles. How should you handle this? First, remind yourself of the truth. Your achievements are valid. You worked hard, made sacrifices, and remained faithful to your calling. Nothing they say or do can take that away from you. Their dismissiveness is not a reflection of your worth, but a projection of their insecurities. Second, do not waste time seeking their approval. If they cannot acknowledge your success, their validation is not worth pursuing. Instead, focus on the people who genuinely celebrate your victories, those who cheer for you without hesitation or hidden motives. These are the individuals who truly matter, and their support will nourish your soul far more than the grudging acknowledgement of someone consumed by envy. It's also crucial to maintain humility. While it is natural to feel hurt by someone downplaying your achievements, do not let pride or resentment take hold. Remember, your success is not just a testament to your hard work, but also a reflection of God's grace in your life. Give Him the glory and trust that He will deal with those who seek to undermine you. Use their behavior as motivation. Let their doubt and dismissal fuel your determination to keep growing, achieving, and pushing forward. The best response to those who downplay your success is to continue succeeding, to continue shining, and to continue walking boldly in the purpose God has set before you. In the end, their words cannot diminish what God has elevated. Your success, no matter how much they try to minimize it, is a blessing that cannot be undone. Keep pressing forward and let your actions speak louder than their words ever could. Sign 5. They compete with you subtly or openly. Competition is a natural part of life, but when fueled by jealousy, it becomes something far more toxic. A jealous person often turns what should be a celebration of mutual growth into a quiet or overt rivalry. This behavior can manifest subtly through constant comparisons and one-upmanship, or openly as they attempt to outdo you at every turn. Their goal isn't personal growth, it's to diminish your shine and prove they're just as good, if not better, than you. Why do they compete? The jealous heart views life as a zero-sum game. For someone else to win, they believe they must lose. Your success, instead of inspiring them, feels like a threat. It's as though your achievements highlight their perceived inadequacies, and in their minds, the only way to restore balance is to match or surpass you. They see your progress not as a unique journey, but as a yardstick against which they measure their own value. This distorted perspective fuels a relentless need to compete. Have you ever noticed someone who suddenly becomes interested in what you're doing, only to mirror your efforts or try to outpace you? Perhaps you've mentioned a goal, and soon they're chasing a similar one, making sure to publicize their progress along the way. Maybe you've achieved something significant, and instead of celebrating with you, they quickly shift the focus to their own accomplishments. This behavior is draining, especially when it comes from someone you thought was on your side. Their competition can manifest in several ways. It might be subtle and unspoken race to achieve similar milestones, or it could be blatant, with them openly trying to overshadow you. For example, if you get a promotion, they might start talking about how they're also working toward one, even if they weren't before. If you achieve a personal goal, they might downplay it while emphasizing their own unrelated successes. The intention is clear: they want to divert attention from you and onto themselves. This constant competition can leave you feeling frustrated and exhausted. It's hard to share your joy with someone who sees it as a challenge rather than something to celebrate. But it's important to remember that their actions stem from their own insecurities, not your success. You are not responsible for their feelings of inadequacy, and you should not let their behavior derail your focus. So, how do you handle someone who competes with you out of jealousy? First, recognize that their competition is not about you, it's about them. Their actions are driven by their internal struggles, and you cannot fix what they are unwilling to confront. Trying to compete back or prove yourself to them will only drain your energy and distract you from your goals. Instead, maintain your focus on your own journey. Remember that you are running a race designed uniquely for you, and their attempts to outdo you cannot alter the path God has set for you. Second, resist the urge to compare yourself to them. It's easy to get caught up in their game, especially when they seem to constantly draw comparisons. But comparison is a thief of joy. Instead of measuring your progress against theirs, measure it against where you were yesterday. Celebrate your own growth, no matter how small, and trust that God's plan for your life is unfolding exactly as it should. Third, establish healthy boundaries. If their competition becomes overwhelming, it's okay to create distance. You don't have to share every detail of your life with someone who uses that information as ammunition for rivalry. Protect your peace by limiting the access they have to your successes and goals. This isn't about being secretive, it's about safeguarding your emotional well-being. Respond with grace. When they try to compete, don't engage. Let your work and achievements speak for themselves. There's no need to justify or defend your success. Instead, focus on continuing to grow and succeed in your own right. By refusing to participate in their rivalry, you take away its power. It's also important to pray for them. Jealousy is a burden that weighs heavily on the soul, and while their actions may hurt, they are ultimately harming themselves more than anyone else. Ask God to heal their heart, to replace their envy with gratitude, and to guide them toward their own purpose. By doing so, you release the bitterness that their behavior might provoke, allowing you to move forward with peace and clarity. When faced with jealous competition, remember this: your success is not contingent on their approval or validation. What God has for you is for you, and no one can take it away. Keep your eyes fixed on your purpose, and trust that the same God who brought you this far will continue to lead you forward. Their attempts to compete may distract them, but they cannot derail you. Stay faithful, stay focused, and let your life be a testament to the power of grace and perseverance. Sign 6. They gossip about you or spread rumors. When jealousy takes hold of someone's heart, it often manifests in attempts to undermine your reputation. Gossip and rumors become their tools to diminish your light, to sow doubt in the minds of others, and to make themselves feel better by tarnishing the image they believe outshines them. What makes this behavior particularly insidious is its stealth. It happens in whispers, behind closed doors, and often comes from those you least expect. It's a painful experience to endure, especially when you realize that the person spreading negativity about you may be someone you trusted. But why does jealousy provoke gossip? Gossip is rooted in insecurity. When someone envies you, they see your success as a threat to their sense of worth. Instead of working on themselves or seeking growth, they choose the easier path, tearing you down. By spreading falsehoods or exaggerating your flaws, they attempt to level the playing field, hoping that if others see you in a less favorable light, their own perceived inadequacies will feel less glaring. The jealous person may begin with subtle comments, a sly remark here or a leading question there. Did you hear how they managed to get that promotion? I'm not saying they didn't deserve it, but it seems a little suspicious, don't you think? These remarks are designed to plant seeds of doubt, to make others question your integrity or competence. Over time, these seeds grow into full-blown rumors, and before you know it, your name is being associated with things you never said or did. What's particularly damaging about gossip is the way it can isolate you. When someone spreads rumors, they often aim to turn others against you, to weaken your support system, and to leave you feeling alone. It's a tactic born out of desperation, an attempt to sabotage your progress by attacking the relationships that sustain you. The jealous individual knows that a strong support network is one of your greatest assets, and by targeting it, they hope to leave you vulnerable. If you've experienced this, you know how deeply it can hurt. There's a unique kind of pain in realizing that someone is actively working against you, especially if that person was once a friend or ally. It's natural to feel betrayed, angry, or even tempted to retaliate, but as difficult as it may be, resist the urge to fight fire with fire. Responding to gossip with more gossip only perpetuates the cycle and brings you down to their level. Instead, rise above it. So how do you deal with someone who gossips about you? The first step is to protect your peace. Remember, their words do not define you. The rumors they spread are reflections of their own insecurities, not your reality. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the negativity, but remind yourself of the truth. Your worth is not determined by the opinions of others, but by the purpose God has placed on your life. When you anchor yourself in this truth, their words lose their power. Second, be mindful of how you respond. Addressing gossip directly can be tricky, but there are times when it's necessary. If the person spreading rumors is someone you know personally, consider confronting them calmly and respectfully. Let them know that you are aware of their actions and that you will not tolerate it. However, do so in a way that reflects your character and integrity. Avoid accusations or anger, instead speak from a place of strength and confidence. In some cases, it's better to let your actions speak for themselves. Over time, the truth has a way of coming to light. People who are prone to gossip often reveal their true nature, and those around them begin to see their words for what they are: empty attempts to bring others down. Meanwhile, as you continue to live with integrity and purpose, your actions will overshadow their rumors. The best way to silence gossip is to continue succeeding, to continue thriving, and to let your life be a testament to your character. Another important step is to strengthen your support system. Surround yourself with people who know your heart, who can see through the lies and stand by you no matter what. True friends and allies will not be swayed by rumors. They will defend you and remind you of your worth. These relationships are invaluable, especially in times when you feel misunderstood or attacked. Lean on them and allow their love and encouragement to counteract the negativity. Pray for the person who gossips about you. This may feel counterintuitive, especially when their actions have caused you pain, but prayer is a powerful way to release bitterness and seek healing. Ask God to work in their heart, to replace their jealousy with gratitude, and to guide them toward their own purpose. By praying for them, you shift your focus from anger to compassion, allowing you to move forward without the weight of resentment. Gossip may be one of the most painful ways jealousy manifests, but it is also one of the most revealing. It shows you who truly supports you and who does not. It exposes the insecurities of those who seek to harm you. And most importantly, it reminds you of the strength you possess, the strength to rise above the negativity, to stay true to your path, and to trust in the divine justice of God. Sign 7. They withdraw from you without explanation. When jealousy takes root in someone's heart, one of the clearest and most emotionally taxing signs is their silent withdrawal. Without warning or reason, they begin to pull away. Conversations that once flowed freely now feel strained, invitations become rare, and the warmth of their presence is replaced by an icy distance. This withdrawal can feel deeply personal, leaving you questioning what you did wrong or what changed in your relationship. But often, the truth lies not in your actions but in their internal struggles. Why does this happen? Jealousy is an isolating emotion. When someone feels envious of your achievements, growth, or happiness, it creates an uncomfortable tension within them. On one hand, they might genuinely care about you, but on the other, your success serves as a constant reminder of their own perceived shortcomings. Rather than confront these feelings or have an open conversation, they choose the easier path, distancing themselves. This withdrawal is a defense mechanism, a way for them to shield their ego from the sting of comparison. Have you ever noticed someone who seemed to celebrate your victories at first, only to gradually fade from your life as you continued to succeed? Perhaps they used to check in regularly, share in your joy, or offer words of encouragement. But now their texts go unanswered, their enthusiasm has waned, and their presence has become increasingly scarce. This silent retreat can be confusing and painful, especially when it comes from someone you thought would always stand by your side. What makes this withdrawal particularly challenging is its ambiguity. Unlike open jealousy, which manifests in criticism or gossip, this behavior leaves you guessing. You might replay conversations in your mind, searching for clues or trying to pinpoint the moment things changed. But the reality is their withdrawal is less about what you've done and more about what they're feeling. Jealousy creates an inner turmoil that some people simply don't know how to navigate, so they choose to retreat. So, how should you respond when someone withdraws from you out of jealousy? The first step is to resist the urge to chase them. It's natural to want to mend the relationship, to seek answers, or to bring them back into your life. But their withdrawal is a choice they've made, and it's not your responsibility to fix the emotions they are unwilling to confront. Chasing them will only drain your energy and might even reinforce their belief that they hold some power over you. Instead, let them go with grace, trusting that whatever relationships are meant to endure will find their way back to you in time. Second, focus on maintaining your peace. Their withdrawal, though painful, is often a blessing in disguise. People who cannot celebrate your success or stand by you during moments of growth are not equipped to support you on your journey. Their absence creates space for others, those who truly value you and your achievements, to enter your life. While it may feel like a loss in the moment, it's an opportunity to strengthen your circle with relationships that are built on mutual respect and support. It's also important to guard your heart during this time. The silent withdrawal of someone close can leave you vulnerable to feelings of doubt, guilt, or even self-blame. You might wonder if you were too boastful about your success, or if you didn't do enough to include them in your journey. But remember this, your light is not meant to be dimmed to accommodate someone else's insecurities. You have every right to pursue your goals, celebrate your achievements, and walk confidently in the purpose God has set for you. Their withdrawal is not a reflection of your worth, but of their inability to handle their own emotions. As you navigate this season, lean on your faith. Turn to God for comfort, guidance, and clarity. Ask Him to reveal the true nature of your relationships and to remove anyone from your life who does not have your best interests at heart. Pray for the person who has withdrawn from you, asking God to heal their heart and lead them to a place of growth and gratitude. By doing so, you release any bitterness that might take root, allowing you to move forward with peace and grace. Use this experience as a lesson in discernment. Relationships are not always what they seem, and sometimes the people we trust the most are the ones who struggle to celebrate us the hardest. This doesn't mean you should close yourself off or become cynical, but it does mean you should approach your relationships with wisdom. Pay attention to the signs, protect your energy, and invest in connections that are life-giving and supportive. Their withdrawal may feel like a loss, but in reality, it's an opportunity for growth for you and for them. Let it remind you that not everyone is meant to walk every step of your journey with you. Some people are only meant to be with you for a season, and when their season ends, it's okay to let them go. Trust that God is removing them from your path for a reason, and focus on continuing to move forward, confident in the knowledge that He is guiding your steps. Jealousy is an emotion as old as time, yet its manifestations can feel startlingly personal. Whether it comes in the form of criticism, mimicry, gossip, competition, or silent withdrawal, it can shake the foundation of even the strongest relationships. But as we reflect on these signs, one truth becomes clear: jealousy is not about you, it is a reflection of the insecurities and struggles within others. Your role is not to fix their envy or shrink yourself to make them feel comfortable. Instead, your task is to stay steadfast in your purpose, to continue walking boldly in the calling God has placed on your life, and to trust that He will handle the battles you cannot see. Remember, what God has for you is for you, and no amount of gossip, criticism, or competition can change that. Let their actions serve as confirmation that you are moving in the right direction. After all, jealousy rarely targets those who stand still. It arises when your progress, your light, and your success shine so brightly that it unsettles those who have yet to embrace their own. Take it not as a deterrent, but as a reminder that you are on the path God designed for you. In moments of pain or betrayal, guard your heart with forgiveness. Pray for those who harbor jealousy against you, asking God to heal their wounds and guide them to their own fulfillment. And most importantly, surround yourself with those who truly celebrate you, people who uplift you, inspire you, and rejoice in your victories as if they were their own. As you navigate the challenges of jealousy, never lose sight of your worth. You were created for a purpose, and no opinion, rumor, or rivalry can take that away. Keep pressing forward, trusting that God will fight your battles and that every trial you face will only prepare you for the greater blessings ahead. Stay focused, stay faithful, and keep shining. You are unstoppable when you walk in the light of God's grace. Your journey is uniquely yours, and no one, no matter how envious, can take it from you. Let your light continue to shine, and trust that it will inspire others, even those who struggle to see it now.